Hello? Hello, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hello, everybody. Thanks for clicking. Thanks for joining our live today. All right. Good morning. Good morning from Canada. Very early morning. Good afternoon from the Philippines. And good afternoon in New Zealand. And good evening to our friends in the Middle East. Let's give a few more seconds to have everybody join. Glad to have you here today, TGIF. Um, Tapos na ang work week after several long weekends. That's good. Okay. All right. Okay, just want to say thank you for joining our Facebook Live today. As you can see, we are here to talk about studying and immigrating to Canada this 2024. So if yun ang kasama sa inyong mga plans, manood kayo. And just to introduce myself, my name is Anna, and I'm from the Secure Visa team. So I am here in Canada today, and I would really love to share a lot of stories with you about our journey here in Canada. And other than that, of course, it's a great informational session to learn about your migration journey and your options for education here in Canada. Thank you. We have 29 viewers as of the moment. So I just would like to ask everybody that before we start our presentation, kindly unplug yourself from other social medias. It would be best to put our full attention to the presentation. Have a pen and paper, take some notes. It's a lot of information na matututunan ninyo. At ang maganda, pwede mo ring i-share with family and friends. Kung may kasama kayo sa bahay, pwede kayong manood ng sabay-sabay. Or napakadali lang, just press the share button now on Facebook and you could have other relatives and friends who are interested to watch this information session and they could learn something from it. Um, and because we are live, we are very active on our comment section. So we would really want to have you comment here. Um, I can see that we have 31 viewers. So I'd like to know saan po ba kayo nanonood? Saan kayo ngayon? Kung pwedeng pakitype po dito sa comments. Are you in the Philippines? Are you somewhere else? So that mabati ko naman ngayon ng tamang time zone at hindi ako ma-confuse. So sa mga nanonood sa atin, saan po kayo ngayon? Are you in Makati? Um, o Philippines? Okay. Oh, sino pa po ba? I believe we're being watched worldwide and we are often viewed on many platforms. BGC. Oh, taga-Taguig po ako dati. Malapit lang yun sa amin. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. So now that you're sharing this presentation, so let's move on. If you have any questions that you would like to ask while the presentation is going on, feel free to put it in our chat, and then our Secure Visa team will help to answer them soon as they can. So hi JC from Cavite, good afternoon. Try from Dubai, UAE. Oh, Miss Christine in Batangas and M. Hi M. I believe she is watching me from New Zealand. Okay. Oh, Miss Helen in Batangas. Wow, dami taga Batangas ah. Okay. All right. Okay. So, as we begin, again, thank you for joining this presentation. My name is Anna. I am from the Secure Visa team. I am based in Canada, and this presentation is not just about talking about living in Canada, but of course, studying in your options in Canada. And of course, a little bit of sharing about our personal experiences. So, hopefully, you would like to learn also about what my journey is like, and we'll share about that in a few minutes. So, this presentation is for you if you want to secure your future and your family's future by migrating to Canada, whether it is for studying or working, being a permanent resident. If that's your dream, this information session will be very helpful to you. Maybe it's possible na you tried applying before pero na-deny kayo, or curious lang kayo about how the student visa works, how to apply, how soon can you get approved, and what do you do after that? Or um, you wanted to look more further into PR or permanent resident options, and maybe you're trying to look for a job abroad. If you're from the Philippines, you want to work in Canada. These are some information that we could share with you. And if you're OFW in the Middle East, think of another place where you can immigrate with the rest of the family, and Canada is an option. So this presentation will be very, very helpful for you. Okay, so just to be clear, Secure Visa is not a recruitment agency. I will repeat, Secure Visa is not a recruitment agency. We don't offer the jobs in Canada, but we are a consulting agency that helps aspiring migrants to live permanently in Canada. We provide the information, we guide you through the process. So if you are looking for a free way to migrate to Canada, I'm sorry, but this presentation is not for you. You may want to leave this presentation, but thank you for joining us earlier. Okay. So, okay, disclaimer. So, this is presentation. Please take note, this is not immigration advice for all viewers. This isn't always a guarantee that you will get your Canadian visa right after watching this presentation. Our goal here is to provide information and to present with you your options. So as you can see, migrating to a different country, moving to a different place, okay, it takes a lot of course, hard work, determination, proper guidance, and dun, preparation pa lang, marami na yan. I'm sure alam din yun ng mga OFW natin na umalis ng Philippines at tumira sa ibang bansa, di ba? It may not have been an easy journey, but of course, we have to plan ahead. So this presentation is we want to share with you that student visa is a pathway to migrating to Canada and eventually getting your permanent residency. So it's a process. So bear with me. We're going to talk through the steps. Okay, so Miss Effie, nagtatanong po kayo how to apply for student visa. We will tell you more about that in this presentation. Hi, Ruby from Taiwan, and hello from Qatar. In Djibouti, Africa. Oh my goodness. I don't know what is the time there. It is also probably evening, but thank you, Mr. Lucito. All right. Okay, let's move on. Ito na yung malaking question. Does the study to permanent residency really work? So, is it worth na manood ka dito at makinig sa aking istorya, or you just, well, maybe this isn't really for me. But let's find out. No, it's better to get this information and then let's see. Okay. Okay. So this picture here is the former Minister of Immigration in Canada. So according to this article, they said in early 2022 that migrants are actually the ones who will be shaping the future of Canada. You can understand that as of the previous years, it was a very aggressive invite to have as many international students or international workers to come to Canada. Actually, Sean Fraser, this fellow pictured here, sinabi nga niya na, our message to international students is simple. We don't just want you to study here. So we're hoping that you create pathways that allow you to stay and make a lasting contribution. So hindi ka lang mag-aaral, graduate, uwi. The idea is you settle here, you build your future and you contribute to the country. So win-win for everyone, right? So ibig sabihin, I'm just showing you in this news that for real that Canada is still very active in inviting international students and international families to come to the country. Okay. Okay, a little bit of a lecture. Here's a graph. Oh, what does this graph say? Okay. Basically, this shows that if you are a former international student, what are the chances that you are going to get approved to your PR or permanent residency? So according to this graph, the approval rate from January to October 2021, this is post-pandemic, is already about 97.5% of international students who graduated and completed their programs were actually already successful in getting their PR in Canada. So in figures, this is about 130,000 international students, not just from the Philippines, but from all other countries in the world. So these are probably those students who studied maybe 3-4 years before the pandemic and they graduated already. And then at this time in 2021, napakalaki ng chances nilang ma-approve for PR. So this actual data came from Immigration Canada. Okay. Oh, okay. So, okay. So we're talking about how Canada is really planning to get, immigrants to come. So we understand that the target for immigration is still growing. Hindi pa nila nami-meet yan. They actually want to get 1.5 million new PRs from 2022 to 2025. So why do they have a target for PRs or immigrants? Is because, Canada also wants them to contribute to the economy, because Canada may be a large country, however, the population is not that big. So we need the power and the labor force that come from international migrants to be able to help the country get running. So if you've been thinking about coming to Canada, ang dami mo sinabi, Ana, pero maybe now would be a good time to start your migration journey. So I'm just giving you a bit of figures, pero I just want to learn here sa mga nanonood, are you really interested to come to Canada? Pa-type naman dyan ng yes. Para malaman ko na you're still with me, even 10 minutes into the presentation. Are you interested to come to Canada? Would you like to learn more about coming to Canada? Yes, type yes, please. Let's check. Oh, hi. Hi, Michaela from Canada. Yes, Miss Rosaline. LC. Yes. 'Di ba? Why not? So, pwede na bang makaalam ng mga information? So, let's find out. Yes, Miss Jinky. Thank you. Thank you. O, di buti na lang nag-yes kayo kasi tutuloy natin yung presentation. All right. All right. Give me a second. Okay. Okay. So there's a 3-step process to study to PR. This is what we've developed here in Secure Visa. We'll put it in very simple terms. We don't want to complicate it for you, okay? Unang-una, number 1, step 1, study in Canada. You have to be an international student, study for 2 years with a DLI school, or it's called a Designated Learning Institution School. Hindi pwedeng maski anong school sa Canada. There are specific schools that follow these guidelines. So you study there for 2 years, complete your diploma, certificate, program, and then after completing your studies, you can go to step 2, which is apply for a post-graduation work permit. We will tell you more about the PGWP in detail later. So makinig po kayo. Thank you for putting yes in our notes today. Thank you. Okay. Okay. And then third, step 3, if you are eligible, then you can apply for permanent residency. About the timeline and requirements, we will put more clarity on that later. So at this point, okay, magtatanong ulit ako sa mga viewers natin. So quick survey lang. So now that you're interested to come to Canada, sabi nyo nga, yes. So where exactly in Canada do you want to go? Diba? Type nyo naman dyan, saan ba sa Canada nyo gusto pumunta? Anong laki-laki ng Canada? There are so many provinces in Canada. And as I told you earlier, it's the second largest country in the world in terms of land area. Pero saan nyo ba gusto pumunta sa Canada? Oh, hey, Calgary. Mr. Santos. Oh, Calgary or Ontario. All right. Calgary, maganda ang Calgary pag tumitingin kayo sa mga Instagram, 'di ba? Lagi siyang napopost sa ganda ng Calgary. Interesting. So, ano pa mga lugar ang alam niyo sa Canada? Sige, pakiput naman dyan sa comments. O Alberta. Okay, Alberta or the province of Alberta has cities like Calgary. Other cities there are Edmonton. Okay. Ontario. Hey, I'm from Ontario today. Galing po ako dito sa Toronto, calling you live from Toronto, Ontario, the largest province in Canada. I saw someone put BC. That's British Columbia. Yes, Miss LC, Kauai, British Columbia. Very good na na-mention niyo po yung British Columbia because later on, we're going to have a guest school from the province of British Columbia so you can learn more about ano bang school ang pwede kong pag-aralan sa BC. Vancouver, of course. In British Columbia also, way back west. Walang gusto ng mga Manitoba or Saskatchewan or other provinces or Prince Edward Island or Nova Scotia. Madami pa po. Anyway, New Brunswick. Anyway, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your responses. Appreciate it very much. Okay, so we will go back to this three-step process later, but here we are. So as I said, I am Anna from the Secure Visa team. Napakarami ng mga tao nagpo-provide ng information sa Facebook about migrating. There are probably tons of Facebook groups, bloggers, and TikTokers na nagsasabi na alam nila lahat ng process about migrating to Canada, getting a PR or getting study permit, right? So, ba kayo kailangan makinig kay Secure Visa? First of all, as I said earlier, let me say that we know our stuff. We speak from experience. From our founders, Aina and JN, who I will talk about them later, and our team members, we've all been here where you want to be. We understand the process. We have our own stories to tell. And with that, maybe it's time for me to share my story. Sino ba ako? At ano bang ginagawa ko dito sa Secure Visa? So I hope you bear with me. Okay. So hi, that's me. That's my picture. That's us in Toronto. That's my family. So again, gusto ko po siya na i-share sa inyo ang aking migration journey dito sa Canada. I just want to say na with the right planning and the right mindset, right preparation, so many things are possible. Kung kaya ninyo, kung kaya ko at nakaya ng mga iba nating kababayan who've been here to Canada and the same things I did, then kaya nyo rin. So I really hope you stick till the end of this presentation and you will learn so much. And it would be a great informational session that meron kayong mapupulot at mai-share nyo pa sa mga loved ones or friends na interested din to study or live in Canada. Okay, another picture. This is my family. So I came here to Canada with a study permit. So I was an international student, and then my husband has an open work permit. I'll discuss more about what is an open work permit later on. So I have 4 kids. So there are 4 dependent children, and we are currently living here in Toronto for 2 years na, mga 2.5 years na. As of the moment, we are waiting for eligibility to qualify for PR status. So hindi pa po kami PR, but we're getting there. We're hopefully gonna get there. Okay, so this is my timeline. In March 2021, if maalala nyo, pandemic pa noon, nag-decide kami na, sige, try kaya natin mag-apply ng student visa. So we did our due diligence. My family and I, we prepared our resources. We prepared our funds, in which I'll discuss also the funds in a few moments. But at this time, so we applied for the study permit. In April 2021, well, magically, na-approve kami. So, thank God, na-receive namin yung approval namin. And then May 2021, 1 month later, nakalipad na kami sa Toronto. So, that picture of me there in my striped t-shirt, that's my school. That's Lambton College in Toronto. That's one of those DLIs that I was telling you about, yung pwede mong pag-aralan if you want to come to Canada. Okay. So again, balikan ko lang yung timeline ko na ang hirap mag-travel ng pandemic with, family of 6. At that time, full lockdown pa sa Pilipinas. Kailangan mo ng swab test. Kailangan mo ng essential travel documents to be able to come. And then nung nag-land kami sa Toronto, lockdown din dito sa Canada. Mas stricto pa nga sila eh. And then we had to go for 14 days na mandatory quarantine before we could come to leave the hotel and then come to our apartment finally. And then at this time, even if we were international students, share ko lang, our classes were still online. But nandito na kami sa Canada noon ng mga classmates ko. Pero we were just having our classes online because of course, safety protocols. So around 2 semesters of classes were online. But eventually, we were able to move on to in-person learning. So, ayan. Oh, picture ulit. Okay. Baka may gusto niyo magtanong, mahirap ba maging international student? So, in my case, like I would say it wasn't super easy. I mean, I would be lying na chicken lang 'yan or madali, 'di ba? Parang honestly, there are a lot of challenges, but thankfully, we survived. Matagal na akong last na graduate sa university, long time ago. So, like postgraduate studies once more is a bit challenging at this point, and we're expected to be more professional students. May experience na kami sa work, but when you come back to studying in Canada, more of your studies are lectures, papers, group works. So it's about learning how to organize yourself, be mindful of your time, um, to learn how to have teamwork with your schoolmates. So, oh, hi, Albert, Troy. Oh, thank you. Okay. So, alam mo, marami nagsasabi daw, gusto ko yung pumunta ng Ontario. So, eto na nga, dito kami sa Toronto, Ontario. Uh, and then, after this, we'll talk about a school option that you can choose in British Columbia. So, balik tayo sa timeline. December 2022, graduate na ako. Yay! And then I got my diploma. So that was about 20 months of studying, or an equivalent to a 2-year program. So that's what it is. Uh, yes, Miss M, never too young or too old to study. So, alam nyo na ako yung never too old, di ba? And then, okay, so January 2023, then we can apply for the postgraduate work permit. Yun yung PGWP. That was the time I had to file it because I had to submit all my requirements. And then, well, 6 months later, well, we received my postgraduate work permit. And at the same time, I got the extensions of the study permits of my children and the work permit of my husband for 3 years, so expiring in 2026. Okay, so now that I was talking about the PGWP, more on my story pa. Please bear with me. I'm going to tell you more stories about my family and myself. Okay, ano bang importance ng having a PGWP? So you may ask, you keep saying that. You keep saying PGWP. Ano bang maganda dyan? Bakit ko ba kailangan na i-try to achieve that level after I graduate, right? So, first of all, I'm talking about from my personal experience. This may not be the same for everyone. Please take note. So, and this is also based on the province where I live. So, some of the policies per province, as I said, Alberta or British Columbia may have different implementations of policies. But this is, I would like to share what are the perks that my family experienced now that I am working, and then my husband is also working in Canada. Okay, first of all, as long as you fulfill the requirement of having work, marami kayong mga makukuhang benefits for you and your family. Number one is you can receive free provincial health care for the whole family. So, hindi po siya pareha ng PhilHealth sa Philippines. Parang ganon. Kasi mandatory natin siyang nababayaran through our taxes. But the coverage of provincial health care is actually more comprehensive. So this includes yung mga emergency room visits, ambulances, and other different types of tests or treatments. So in Ontario, we call it the Ontario Health Insurance Plan, or OHIP. And that's my card over there. You can see my very round face in the card. Okay, next. So that's health. So other provinces have their own types of health cards with different conditions and requirements as well. So we were able to get that health card because my husband has been working full time. So that's one of the benefits. Next, as I said, I have 4 children, and they were all girls. Yes, and then dependent children can study in elementary and high school for free. So high school here is up to grade 12, pareho na Pilipinas. So, they can study for free and you don't need to pay a thing. How do you choose the school? Marami mga tanong na gano'n. Paano niyo alam kung maganda yung school? You know what? Kahit po public school dito sa Canada, I would say you wouldn't know the difference of a private school in the Philippines versus public school in Canada. I admit na I had that mindset before na, ay, pag public, parang kakabahan kang paaralin yung mga kids. But you know what, can you imagine the savings that my family was getting na hindi kami magbabayad ng tuition ng 4 na bagets, di ba? I'm sure dyan may mga mommies and daddies dyan na nanonood na, o nga no, parang yung tuition ng mga bata, parang dun mapupunta yung ipon natin. But here in Canada, the education is a high priority by the community and it's of course for free. Another thing, continue ko lang to share, you also get tax benefits and refunds. So every year, bilang empleyado, nagfa-file tayo ng income tax return natin or ITR, parang sa Philippines, present tayo sa BIR. Now, because nagbabayad tayo ng taxes base sa ating salary, at the end of the year, kapag na-assess ng Canada Revenue Agency or ito yung BIR ng Canada, CRA, kapag na-assess nila na you have paid more than enough taxes through your employment, you may receive a tax return or a tax refund at the end of the year. So, parang bumalik sa'yo yung tax na binigay mo kasi you gave more than enough. So, that's a good help also. You also get tax benefits if you have a disability. That's one. If you're caring for a family member with a disability, that's another. Um, and then you also get tax benefits if you're, let's say, single parent. May mga ganun pong mga benefits in Ontario. Okay, other government benefits. So meron din ditong Canada Pension Plan. So para siyang SSS na yung hinuhulugan mo din siya habang nagwo-work ka, pero in the end, this builds up as part of your retirement fund. So meron ka ding employee insurance and Canada Child Benefits. Healthcare, yeah, it's a good thing na na-mention mo yung healthcare. Kasi sa Philippines, can you imagine that if you don't have let's say, an HMO or a health card, it's kind of very hard to get a treatment or to get a medicine. So here in Canada, if you have that health card, you can go have your checkup in the clinic, and then you can even get some prescription medicines for free. So that's a really big help, lalo na sa mga medyo may edad na or pagiging seniors ka na, may mga needs ka na maintenance meds. So these are really good benefits to have in the long run. So we're thinking about currently ito ang benefits natin, but again, it compounds up as a future. Marami ka pang naitabi in benefits mo. It's preparation for your retirement. So another thing is, as an employee, you have health coverage. Meron ding mga other perks na binibigay ng employers. Kasama dyan mga memberships to clubs or other discounts sa mga tindahan. So that's only a few of the good things about working in Canada, whether you're in a PGWP or your spouse has an open work permit. All right. So, living in Canada, there's also challenges. So, sabi ko naman, hindi naman kami parang nagbakasyon dito. So, in reality, I believe also yung mga OFW natin who are watching, or even the working parents who are watching, di ba? You have to have a lot of sacrifices, in order to reach towards your dream. And honestly, when we came here, wala talaga kaming kamag-anak na nakatira dito sa Canada. We only have a few friends na na-meet namin, and we have to learn to be independent. I mean, taas ang kamay kung sanay kayo na meron kayong kasambahay or helper sa bahay, di ba? I admit, parang naging dependent talaga ako with a house helper for quite a long time. Kasi nagwo-work din tayo sa Pilipinas, di ba? Sino mag-aalaga ng mga bata, parang ganon. So, very dependent tayo sa helper. Pero pagdating mo dito, walang ganon, walang helper. But okay lang, ganon naman, part of the learning process yun. Lalo na yung mga bata, di ba? They also learn to be independent. Second, okay, I have to be honest for you, finding a job, it wasn't as quick as expected. A lot of people think na, pagdating ko, pag landing ko, may mahahire ka agad ako, or pag napasa ko yung resume ko, makakakuha agad ako ng position. So it takes some time. So why does it take time? So you have to prepare yourself. You prepare your credentials, and then of course you filter out the jobs talaga na angkop sa iyo, sa skill set mo, tsaka sa experience mo. So yun, okay na naman yun. In the end, it all worked out. Nakahanap naman kami ng aming mga work. So, and then again, another thing, siguro yung mga nakapag-travel na abroad or living abroad, yung adjusting to the cost of living. So this is a Western country, and obviously things are very, very expensive. Not very, slightly more expensive than the Philippines. So adjusting to the cost of living, parang may habit tayo na you're always converting to peso. Magkano ba yung spending ko so far, ganon. So okay lang yun. Basta sanay ka din later, wag mo na i-convert, di ba? Pero of course, it helps you to mag-budget din tayo, syempre. And again, worried about our timeline. As I mentioned earlier, we are working towards our PR. So we're not yet sure what should we do moving forward. We need guidance on, PGWP is not only the first step, it's one of a million steps that we need to take towards our PR dream. So, and then, aside from the challenges, I would say marami naman din kaming natutunan na lessons, katulad nga nasabi ko kanina na, we learn to be independent. And then of course, living in a different country, people have different experiences and views. We learn to be open. You can understand that Canada, as I said, 'di ba, napakaraming mga foreigners dito, like from all over the world, not just Asia, like Europe and Africa. They all immigrate here. So iba-iba tayo ng kultura, but 'di ba, I believe you've read in Canada na they're very embracing to the diversity of the country, it's our diversity that makes us strong, sabi nga ng Prime Minister Trudeau. Okay. Oh, M. So, according to M, most of our clients were able to find jobs during their first 3 weeks, part time and full time. So, give yourself time. I mean, it's not always very, very, pagkadating mo, wag ka madi-disappoint pag hindi ka nakakuha ng call, right? So, those are things that we will talk about more about finding a job in Canada. Once you're in Canada, I'll discuss a little bit more at the end of our presentation. So, another lesson that I learned, maraming mga tao na I believe, sabi ko nga sa inyo, pag nababasa kayo sa Facebook or sa vlogs, alam nila lahat ng mga immigration policies, alam nila lahat ng mga procedure, sila yung mga expert, pero iba-iba yung mga experiences ng tao. Example, may mababasa kayong storya, ako nga, ito yung ginawa ko, ito na-approve ako, or so and so like that. So, again, it's up to us to weigh kung is this the correct way for me to approach it. So that's the reason why, you know, it's best to get help from the experts, especially if you're unsure about the processes. Okay, so and that was the end of my story. Ang haba naman pala. Okay, I just want to say that that's enough about my personal story, but let's talk more about secure visa. So here's a throwback. You can see my face there again. Oh, mas bata pa ako by 2 years. Just a picture na yan. Andito si Ayn at saka si JN, the founders of Secure Visa. That was the first time my husband and I met them through a podcast. So it was a great time na nakapag-share kami na experiences namin about me being an international student, newly arrived in Canada, and sila naman, I learned so much about their experience in moving, in migrating, studying in New Zealand, living in New Zealand, working in New Zealand, building their lives in New Zealand. So I will tell more about their stories too. So hindi lang ako, kahit sila, even on another side of the world, they have their own challenges. So sila na yan, si Ayn at si JN na yan. And it kind of made me feel na parang hindi ako nag-iisa. So parang if I go to the people with the right guidance, I wouldn't feel na I'm alone in this journey. So they're always there to help and support. So going back to the story of Aina and JN, before they got successful, when they came to New Zealand so many years ago, hindi naman sila skilled professionals, like they don't have licenses, they don't have certifications, but their previous experiences were as such. Um, and then initially they tried to migrate to Canada. They told me long time ago, but then, however, they wasted 500K to an agency that wasn't able, that hindi naman sila natulungan, wasn't able to help them. 2015, they tried to apply for NZ resident visa, as in straight from Philippines to residency in NZ, pero under the skilled migrant category. Pero meron pala siyang kulang na points. So they needed a skilled job offer to be able to do that. And then in 2015, they tried to look for a skilled job. Pero again, mayroon points na needed ang New Zealand in order for you to get in. So until they JN and Aina discovered the study to residence pathway. So the same thing we're sharing with you today. There is a pathway, study and to become a permanent resident. Okay, and then at this point, based from the mga experiences nila na of the hardships, and the errors and the learnings, they saw an opportunity that they could help aspiring migrants not just to come to New Zealand, but of course to come to Canada too. Okay. Okay, while Aina was studying in NZ, this is her picture. Oh, see, mas bata rin sila. Nag-start din sila na bata. Ayan, she learned that, a lot of international students were given wrong advice. Sabi ko nga sa inyo, di ba, marami nagmamarunong, marami nagsasabi, nagkiklaim na this is my experience, this is the right way. And then if they went to an agency, maybe if the agency had made an error, they did not get enough support or information from them. So one of the things na nangyayari sa mga fellow students na na-meet ni Aina was wrong program or qualification, na di-deny ang kanilang visa. And then at that point, when you come to NZ, they struggle financially, maybe because it was poor planning and poor preparation. So, and then nandun yung mga difficulties of adapting to new life in the country. And you end up uwi ka na lang, parang either you didn't complete your program or you think that it was a failed job, and then you just go home. Parang it wasn't an experience that you don't want it na mangyari sa iyo. Ayaw mo na mangyari sa kaibigan mo or sa loved one mo. So at dahil dyan, Secure Visa was founded in 2018. So JN and Ina came up with decision that, you know what, if we were successful in our journey here, maybe we can impart this knowledge and service to others who also want the same things that we have aspired for, diba? So in 2018, the company was founded. And as I said, mahirap maghanap ng the right consultancy program, consultancy company. And we want you to avoid those mistakes that has happened before. So if you really want to learn more about the company, I hope you're still here. Hey, we're dropping to 31 viewers. Na-share nyo na ba? Share nyo pa. Nandito na tayo sa part na marami tayong information pa na i-share sa mga kamag-anak and friends. I-share nyo na sa personal Facebook page nyo that we're gonna go to the meat of our discussion. So please give a thumbs up, and I want to see if you're still actively listening to my long story. Thank you, Miss M. Thank you, Lailani. Oh, thank you. Okay. So this is our company. Who are the founders? So this is Ina and JN, as I said earlier, and they are currently living in NZ, and they've been there for 7 years. This is where they built their lovely family and their adorable little babies. And now, after the years of living in NZ, they are now currently citizens of New Zealand. Thank you, Miss Jinky. I could see you're still here. All right. So our primary goal in the Secure Visa team is to help aspiring migrants study, work, and live in their ultimate destination. Eventually this will lead to your permanent residency, right? So it's with the help of our immigration experts. So this is our team. So we have a team based in the Philippines, and we have a team based in New Zealand, and also a team based in Canada. Hey, that's me. Okay. Okay, so these are our New Zealand experts. So as I said, na-experience na nila yung migrating from Philippines to New Zealand. They've already experienced studying and also finding work. So they have been helping a lot of clients also to achieve their dreams. And because alam nila yung pinagdaanan ng mga migrants, so they are the best people to guide you and to give you advice, diba? So we know what works and what doesn't work. So all right, great pictures. Okay, showing you, this is our office in Pasay City. This is near the Mall of Asia complex. Address as seen there. So please be advised that this office is actually a work from home setup. If you wish to meet any of our team members for a consultation, you will have to book an appointment. So take note, this office, we have a physical office, but most of our staff we are all working from a work from home setup. Only on occasions we could come to the office when there are appointments. Hello to those who just came in. Oh, share nyo pa para tumas pa yung numbers natin. Okay, this is the office. Okay, I'm sharing with you some of our information from our company. This is the SEC and BIR documents. I'll just go through this real quickly. And these are the business permits. So this is the proof of the legitimacy of Secure Visa. Now in this picture, these are our immigration experts. On the left is our Canadian registered immigration consultant, and on the right is Attorney Jean, who is the immigration lawyer for New Zealand. Why do we need to show this information to you? Okay, these are not just pictures. So the reason why is we want you to know that we we are we have a real experience. We're not just speaking from vlogs or what we read. So we know our stuff. Sabi ko nga na bukod dun sa we lived that same scenario, we are also guided by real experts in the industry, not just New Zealand, but also Canada. Okay, you can see in our chat right now, we have the messages about the time schedules and address and contact details if you would like to book an appointment. Speaking of appointment, we'll talk about that later on. All right. So I want to show you some pictures. So there are more pictures to look at. Here are some of the clients that we welcomed in New Zealand and Canada. So as you can see, a lot of these clients are from all walks of life: male, female, married, single, with children, with 2 children, with 3 children. So lahat sila, they also took the step to migrate. They also have the goals of having a better future for themselves, a better future for their family. So our services at Secure Visa are designed to make sure that all clients are taken care of, not just through submissions of your applications, but of course, up until you reach your dream destination, diba? Isn't that great? Okay, so these are more pictures. So we could see these are the families that we met at the airport? Diba? When you imagine when you land at the airport, wala kang kalala, o at least may sasalubong sa inyo, kami yun. Secure visa is there. So you feel that you're not, you're not far away, even if you just traveled halfway across the world. Diba? You're never alone. Here you go. We've got some more photos. Okay. Showing you. So these are the ones from Canada. See? Merong husband and wife, mommy and daddy. Okay, excellent. Okay. So eto na yon. 4 reasons why studying in Canada is popular. Why is it okay to study in Canada? Para makuha mo yung permanent residency mo at saka ma-increase mo yung comprehensive ranking system score, CRS score. Ano kaya yon? So, a lot of Filipinos and even non-Filipinos are studying in Canada, sabi ko nga, by the hundreds of thousands and dumarating dito because of that immigration opportunity. And as I said earlier, there are a lot of benefits that you get when you study. So there are 4 reasons why it would be a great way to come to Canada and migrate here using the student pathway. Okay, find out. Okay, number 1. Nasabi ko to kanina, parang na-mention ko yung post-graduation work permit, right? This is something that I am currently holding. So after you complete your studies, as I said, you can apply for your PGWP, which will be valid for up to 3 years. So that's after graduation. Again, you have to complete your program from a DLI, a designated learning institution. Now, with the postgraduate work permit, you are free to decide which Canadian employer you like. Hindi po kayo naka-lockdown sa isang employer. Pwede po kayong maglipat ng industry. And you can work for 40 hours of full-time per week as the PGWP holder. Ganito din po yung open work permit holder, which is your spouse. And you can work anywhere in Canada. Hindi po ito specific to a province. And again, as you're gaining work experience and of course making money, you are also going to be more eligible to apply for permanent residency. It takes time. It's a process. But again, work experience is the main ingredient to help you get to your PR status. Okay, hope that's clear. Okay, now, so how do you get the PGWP? So as I mentioned earlier, you need to be enrolled in that Canadian designated learning institution. What are they? They are colleges and universities that offer programs. They could be undergraduate programs or graduate programs. And again, you must have finished your program. Hindi pwedeng hindi complete. Dapat may diploma. Merong kang certificate of completion. Now, how to get a longer PGWP duration of 3 years, which is the maximum? Again, so you must have finished at least a 2-year program or more. 2-year programs may be 4 semesters. So, mga ganun po na program. Some of programs are 3 years, while some programs are 1 year. So, the length of the PGWP duration will be also dependent on the length of your study. So now that you got your PGWP, right? So how do you apply for the permanent residency na? So after studying, you apply for that PGWP, as I said, for a maximum of 3 years. At this point, you're continuing to get your Canadian work experience. So like myself and my husband, we are continuously working. So you would need a certain number of years to work to qualify for immigration pathways, which are to help you become permanent residents. So ito, I'll just mention a few of them. Federal Skilled Worker Program. So these are for the employees who are currently working in Canada. These people who are in this category have a chance to be called to a PR, to become PR. Federal Skilled Trades Program. So these are trades that require licenses or certifications, such as, let's say, welder, carpenter, electrician. So these are skilled trades. So they fall under this category. Meron din Canadian experience class. So these are those who have increased their work experience by a year or 2 while continuously working in Canada. And there are provincial nomination programs. So, as I said, these are different pathways na hindi ka nalilimit sa isa lang. Like, if I'm not skilled, where can I go? You could be nominated through your province or through the experience that you're gaining. Okay, interested. Very good. Okay, Chad and Charmaine, thank you. Let me move on to our other presentation. So ito na yung CRS score. We keep talking about what is the CRS score? Why do I need to increase it? So CRS is part of your the immigration's comprehensive ranking system. This helps them to determine who are the immigrants who are qualified to be leveled up to PR. So how do you increase your CRS score? Number one, you get a Canadian qualification, which means Canadian graduate po kayo ng Canadian school, which is yung nakakomplete ka ng program. And then plus your Canadian work experience, which could be a year or two. So to gain these points, so it's also dependent on your age, the type of industry you have experience in, where you live, so and also other factors such as English proficiency, language proficiency. So those all add up to a good CRS score. The higher your CRS score, the higher your chances of getting invited to apply for permanent residency. Okay. Okay. So, as I said earlier, work experience is the main ingredient. So, you have to not just graduate and complete your program, you have to gain work experience. So, that will be make you more competitive and give you the advantage to have a PR nomination so that you can gain your permanent residency status. So, that's the reason why the PGWP is mas maganda you have the 3 years of PGWP. Why? Because you have the chance to work for 3 years and to gain the work experience of 3 years. And at that point, um, your experience, your CRS points will be much higher. Okay. All right. Now, number two, why is the Canadian study to PR pathway a great option for immigration? So during your studies, you can work for part-time for up to 20 hours a week. Okay. While you're studying, you can earn money and you can gain Canadian work experience. At the same time, you can gain good references from your employers. So, although you can work for 20 hours a week, we do not advise you that you make this your main revenue generating activity. So, the idea of working is also only to help you with some expenses, but the idea is you come to Canada, you are more than prepared. So that's why we talked about resources earlier and funds. I will move into that later on. So you can work for 20 hours. That is the minimum. The maximum allowed as a student. Anything more than that, if only during academic breaks or sem breaks, you can work more than 20 hours a week. So that's allowed. Okay. So again, the good thing about if you've been working in this company while studying, you gain the experience and you gain the connections, nakikilala ka ng employer mo. At the same time, it helps you to bridge towards full-time employment, assuming that you graduate and then your employer says, okay, we would like to absorb you into the company. So that's good. Okay. So number three, bakit nga ba magandang option ang studying in Canada? So number three, you may bring your family while studying, just like me. So I didn't just bring my partner. I was also able to bring my children. So I'm going to show you some notes. Okay. So this means, as I said, my spouse was able to get the open work permit. Hindi siya specific to any company. He can work for full-time or 40 hours or more per week. Walang limit, unlike a student. So that means your partner, your spouse, uh, is able to help you earn for your daily needs. And at the same time, sometimes if your spouse has a skill in which even if they did not graduate from a Canadian school, but they have a skilled training, either from the Philippines or from if you worked abroad before. So the skilled experience also helps them to get higher CRS points. So minsan, yung partner mo ay maaari din siya magkaroon ng high CRS score, siya din na magiging primary applicant niyo for PR. So that's the perk of having a family, right? Either you as a student can be nominated for PR, or your spouse who also has experience can be nominated for PR. As we said earlier, and M repeated it, there are many pathways towards getting the PR. So we only mentioned a few of them. Now, balik tayo sa mga dependent children. So sabi ko nga, free education from elementary to high school or up to these ages. Okay, ang high school is from up to grade 12. Okay, and then again, you can include your dependent children even up to 24 years old sila. Pwede mo silang isama as part of the PR application if it's a family application. And again, if you're an OFW also, I believe you've experienced being apart from your family for years, months. So I understand that, but it's so important to have, that connection with the children. If you come to Canada, you are still working, but you're with your family. So isn't that a great idea, right? So I was talking about bringing your family. Now the question is, what is the visa duration kapag kasama ko naman yung spouse ko, partner ko, tsaka yung mga kids? It's the same as your study permit, same duration. So if your program is 2 years, the visa of your if your study program is 2 years in college in Canada, then the permits of your family will also be valid for 2 years. Okay. Okay. After you complete the program, I said at that point, you're already a graduate and you're applying for PGWP, include mo na yung family mo as part of the PGW application. Katulad po nung sinabi ko na I did that. So after I graduated, I passed my PGWP application, na-receive ko po yung PGWP ko. At the same time, na-extend naman po yung mga visas ng family ko. So, sama-sama siya. So, okay. All right. Okay. And lastly, why is it such a great idea to study in Canada? Why do you want to take the student pathway? Of course, it's the fastest way to come to Canada. You can come in 6 months or less. It's dependent on what? It depends on how prepared you are. Okay, depends on how committed you are into this step. Kaya siya in 6 months. From the time you start gathering your requirements, applying, until you finally land in Canada, it can be processed in 6 months or less. So with proper preparation and guidance, you're going to be well on your way. So please take note of that. All right. Okay. So these are the 4 reasons about why you should come and study in Canada. Now, because we have an idea already of why studying is great, let's find out naman saan naman tayo pwede mag-aral. I mentioned earlier we wanted to learn about British Columbia and what it has to offer. So I'm here now introducing you to our guest speaker, William. All right. William San Juan is the Senior Business Development Manager of University Canada West. Where is that? That is in British Columbia. So, hi, William. Oh, hi. Good afternoon, William.
Yeah, good afternoon. Hi, Anna. Good
Hi.
afternoon to everybody. I know that you're home right now, no classes here in the Philippines. So, thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And hopefully, marami na kayo natutunan kay Anna. So, guys, yung nasabi ni Anna, yun na yun talaga yung pinaka-main ingredients para makapunta kayo ng Canada with your whole family. All right? So, we were here to guide you guys. All right? All right. So again, my name is William San Juan. I'm the Senior Business Development Manager for University Canada West. So right now, we're not just looking for a student. We're looking for a future executive or future boss. So maybe isa sa inyo yung nandito ang attendees ang maging future boss sa Canada with UCW. All right, so University Canada West is a private university. It is a business-oriented university. Right? And yeah, as you can see, future leaders are made here in Vancouver. I mean, in UCW. So why go west? Okay. We got, next slide, please. Okay, we got 11,000 plus students. So diverse po yung mga student natin. So kung magtatanong kayo, marami bang student na Filipino? Yeah, maraming Filipino students na dito sa UCW. And I would like to share lang last convocation, that is July convocation, yung valedictorian lang po natin is Filipina po lang naman. I mean,
talaga?
handle siya sa akin. Yeah, ako yung nag-handle sa kanya. So,
Oh,
siya yung
wow.
valedictorian for the last July convocation. So,
Ang
ganon
galing.
kinakatakutan dito sa UCW yung mga Filipino students. So, nag-mark na po yung pangalan ng mga Filipino dito sa UCW. So, yun nga.
Galing.
Yeah, out of those 110 plus countries, tayo yung nangunguna.
Dapat
Okay?
lang.
So, yeah, syempre, we're Filipino. Sobrang competitive natin. So, hindi tayo magpapatalo dyan sa mga yan. Okay? We got 2 campuses in downtown Vancouver. So, we got the West Penner campus and the Vancouver House. So, yung Vancouver House, that is our new campus. So, inopen namin siya nung July 2020. So habang may pandemic, nag-open kami ng campus namin. And guys, for the employability ng program, syempre, ang pinaka-popular program ni UCW is MBA. Sino ba naman tatanggi sa may masters, right? So that's why 95% yung employability natin. And as I mentioned ni Ma'am Ana kanina, hindi agad-agad magkakaroon ng trabaho. But since MBA po yung program natin, within yung sa 1 year na graduation, makakakuha ka talaga. So depende rin yan eh. Guys, for example, kung hindi ka talaga mapili, makakakuha ka agad ng trabaho. But syempre, graduate ka ng MBA, so talagang iwiweyin mo yung lahat ng opportunities para sa'yo.
Correct.
Then when it comes sa age naman, since nag-offer din tayo ng undergraduate, so yung pinakang youngest natin is 17 years old. But yung pinakamatanda natin is 62. Hindi siya Filipina. Yeah. But dito sa Pilipinas, yung pinakamatanda natin na na-approve, she's from Pampanga, 58 years old.
Wow! O, diba?
Yeah, and sumunod doon is 53 years old from Cebu. So bakit na-approve sila? Eh, ganun yung age. But, you know guys, nagmamatter din talaga yung age pag nag-apply kayo sa Canada. Lalo-lalo na yung sa visa. Yun nga, since ang in-applyan nila kay UCW is MBA, so madali nilang ma-justify kung ano yung pathway na kinukuha nila. So yun yung maganda doon. So guys, for those matured student there na nandito ngayon, meron pa po kayong pag-asa. And i-share po natin itong live natin dun sa ating mga kilala ng mga matured student na kamag-anak natin, friends, para marami po tayo mabigyan ng information.
Yeah, I mean, hindi ka naman kailangan na bata to learn, right? Even if you're older, you can still learn. Yeah.
Yeah, as long as kaya mo mag-aral, kaya mo magtrabaho.
Basta masipag.
Yeah, masipag. Hindi ka tulad, hindi ka tulad dito kasi sa Pilipinas eh. As you age, wala ka ng bentahe. I mean, parang yung value mo bumababa na. Right?
Right.
Ayun.
Okay.
So next slide. Okay, so we're also proud to say that UCW has 5-star rating from the QS Stars Higher Education System. So sila lang naman yung nagbibigay ng in-depth evaluation sa lahat ng university. And we are proud to say we are the 3rd university in Canada and 1st in British Columbia to receive this 5-star rating.
Wow.
So ayun din, binase din po yan dun sa employability ng program. Eh sino ba naman tatanggi sa may masters? Dito lang yan sa Pilipinas tinatanggihan kasi sasabihin sa Pilipinas, ay overqualified ka. Hindi ka na, wala kami papasweldo sa inyo. Which is iba dun sa ibang bansa or iba sa Canada.
Okay.
Right? Yun yung difference. Yeah. Okay. So this is also the difference from our difference from the other schools. So we got 4 flexible intakes. So we got October, January, April, and July. So para ma-memorize niyo 4 season na lang. So yun yung pinakang intake namin. So marami kayong pagpipili ang intake kung kailan kayo mag-start. But right now, yung January intake natin is for those students lang na may visa na. But kung gusto nyo mag-apply for UCW, pwede kayo mag-apply for April and July, and after ng end ng September, i-open na rin natin yung October intake natin. So hindi rin kayo mahihirapan ng deferral sa amin kasi marami nga kayong intake na pagpipilian. And the good thing with deferral, since nabanggit ko siya, libre po siya. Walang mababago. Ililipat lang natin, i-defer natin yung program natin. Okay?
Okay. Kailan ba nagdi-defer ang isang applicant? Can you explain?
Alright. So, eto yan. Case-to-case basis. For example, si student, okay, so meron na siyang LOA, nag-apply na ng visa. Doon na tayo sa worst, na-refuse. So, doon papasok yung deferral. Okay? So for example, may mga instances din na hindi pa nagkakapag-apply ng visa. For example, ano pa lang siya sa medical. Diba? So yun din na magiging hindrance natin para mag-proceed. So pwede tayong magpa-defer din nun. Or for example, hindi ka pa financially ready, pwede rin tayo magpa-defer. Or for example, hindi ka emotionally, hindi ka pa rin ready, pwede tayong magpa-defer. Para at least, pagdating natin ng Canada, talagang handang-handa na tayo sa mga, kung ano man yung magiging experience natin.
Okay. So to repeat, you get to defer, pero hindi mawawala yung slot mo doon sa program, right?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
Good.
And yun nga, ang maapektuhan lang, hindi naman usually na, there's a tendency lang na maapektuhan is yung tuition fee. which is normal
Aha.
lang din naman. Kasi,
Yes.
for example, yung intake mo sobrang layo na. So,
Mhm.
baka yung year na yon hindi na, tawag dito, tumaas na yung tuition fee, which is
Yes.
usually nangyayari. Or,
Yeah.
for example naman, yung grant din na ino-offer namin, baka na hindi na namin ino-offer that time yung grant or binawasan na rin namin yung grant. So, ganun lang
Okay.
yung mga mangyayari doon. But you can differ naman.
All right.
Okay? So,
Okay.
also, for the classes na ino-offer namin, for international student, it's more on face-to-face talaga. Yung online, ino-offer namin niya for domestic lang. And
Mhm.
for the financial support, may tinatawag tayong Southeast Asia Regional Grant. So that is an automatic grant. You don't need to apply for it. Wala kang sasubmit na anything. Walang initial interview. Basta, as long as maging eligible ka, qualified ka dun sa program namin, automatic namin ibibigay yung C grant. And I will discuss more on that later, okay? So for
Okay.
the faculty that we have here, so sila yung mga faculty na hindi katulad, gagamitin ko naman ulit yung Pilipinas, sorry Dito kasi sa
Sige.
Pilipinas, by the book yung teacher Alam mo yung inaamag na or may kung ano-ano luman-luman yung books, yung pa rin yung pinapiprint natin, binibigay sa student, which is,
Oo.
nakakatulong konti, but iba dito yung experience ninyo kasi yung mga faculty namin dito, some of them may sariling company or nag-work talaga dun sa
Yeah.
known industry sa Canada. So ang ibibigay talaga nila yung year, yung tawag dito, years of
Current.
experience nila dun
Yes.
sa real world. Yun yung
Yes.
i-share nila sa inyo. Para makita mo na agad, ganun pala yung nangyayari. Hindi lang yung nababasa mo na nababasa. Di ba? So yun yung kagandahan sa mga professor namin. And I believe na I heard some students na nag-transfer sa amin, galing sila sa other school dun din sa may malapit sa amin. So sabi nila yung mga professor doon na nagtuturo sa kanila is yung assistant professor, hindi na nakikita talaga yung professor. So kumbaga dito kasi makikita mo, may encounter mo talaga yung professor namin. So yun
Right.
yung maganda din. Then, as I mentioned ni Anna kanina, PGWP, bakit we keep on saying PGWP? Guys, yan yung pinaka, tawag dito, yan yung PGWP, dyan mo rin makukuha yung ROI na tinatawag. Kasi syempre gumastos ka right?
Yes.
So, syempre, yun nga, up to 3 years, yung PGWP mo, so, full-time job ka, so mababawi mo. Okay, mababawi mo yung mga expenses mo. And even though si UCW is a private university, kasi usually notion yan, pag college lang maraming may mga PGWP. But si UCW, may PGWP rin kami ino-offer.
Yes.
Okay, so international student may eligible to apply for PGWP as long as successfully na matapos yung program, syempre. So yun ang
Okay.
maganda. So ang program namin kasi, yung pinaka-shortest namin is 2 years. So up to 3 years talaga yung magiging. Up to 3 years hindi namin na-mention ni Ma'am Ana dito na 3 years talaga yung makukuha ninyo. It depends. But
Yes.
up
Yes.
to 3 years. Okay, tandaan nyo yan guys. Up to 3 years siya na. Huwag nyo
Okay.
kaming kasi may mga student na, sabi mo 3 years yung makukuha namin vlog. No, up to 3 years. It depends do sa magre-review ng
Okay.
application mo.
That's
And for
right.
the faster completion naman, ang example natin dito is yung ating MBA and then associated parts. So instead of 2 years, you can finish the programs 1 year and a half lang. So pwedeng i-fast track yung program ni UCW. And ang question dyan, how about yung PGWP ulit? Di ba? So for example, natapos ko 1 year and a half. Ano yung makukuha ang
Okay.
PGWP? Guys, you don't need to worry kasi yung makukuha, may ibibigay na certification si UCW sa inyo na is-certified na yung program mo is 2 years talaga. It's just so happen, finast track mo lang yung program. And again, Filipina din yung pinakamabilis na nakatapos nitong MBA. Nakuha lang niya ng 1 year and 3 months. Imagine that, guys. Ang dami mong na-save na time. And right now, PGWP na siya. PGWP na siya. So yun nga,
Diba?
she's parang, alam ko nag-apply na rin siya ng PR
Yeah.
So yun nga, kung guys, alam ko yung karamihan kasi ng mga mature student din, ayaw nilang mag-aral na ng matagal. Kahit ako rin naman nag-aral na ako ng 4 years tapos nagtrabaho na ako ng matagal. So talagang kung ang goal ninyo is matapos agad yung program para makapag full-time job kayo agad, pwede nyo i-consider to si MBA ni UCW. And yun nga, yung undergraduate naman namin, instead of 4 years, you can finish the program just 2.5 or 3 years.
Can I just say, Yeah,
Yeah,
can I just say, as a student, hindi naman talaga super easy. This fast track, it's an
yeah,
option. Pero,
yeah.
you have to be committed to it. I mean, di ba? Dapat masipag ka. I mean, it's not a joke, right? You invested in your education, so you have to do really well, di ba?
Yeah. Actually, mamana, marami kaming binibigyan na time dun sa student. Kasi yung student namin, maximum of 12 hours lang per week ang studies.
Okay,
So,
okay.
marami pa silang time. Guys, hindi ibig sabihin na marami kayong time, gagamitin ninyo yun dun sa part-time job or gagawa
Oh,
kayo ng ibang activities. No. So,
no.
gagamitin mo yun sa pag-aaral mo. Since MBA to, hindi rin siya basta-basta.
Yeah.
Right?
Comparing sa Philippines, William, gaano ba
Mhm.
katagal ang MBA kung sa Philippines ko kukunin?
Depende yan. May inaabot ng 4 years, hindi mo pa
Yeah.
tapos yung thesis, hindi ko pa rin tapos ang program. Right?
Correct, correct.
So, since, ma'am, na-mention ko na yung thesis, padaliin na natin. Wala
Hmm.
pong thesis itong MBA namin. Since na-mention ko
Talaga?
na. Yeah. Oh, di
Oh,
ba?
oh,
So,
excellent. Oh.
actually, pag dinidiscuss ko to, yung tawag ito, face-to-face sa mga student, talaga
Aha.
natutuwa sila. Siyempre, sino ba namang ayaw na, tawag dito, yung wala kang thesis, di ba? So,
Correct,
hindi
correct.
ka na magti-thesis, guys. So, isa
Galing.
yan dun sa talagang talagang mapapakinabangan mo dito kay UCW, dun sa MBA namin.
That's
Alright?
right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next slide, please. Alright, so na-mention din ni Mama Ana kanina, UCW is on the designated learning institutions list. Makikita nyo rin yan sa IRCC na website. I-check nyo si UCW. So, DLI po tayo. So, you don't need to worry about that. Next slide.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So for the accreditation memberships and designations, our MBA and Bachelor of Commerce is accredited by ACBSP and NCMA, and all the programs is accredited by British Columbia Education Quality Assurance. Next, please. Okay, so here are our programs. So we got the undergraduate program. So the first one is the Bachelor of Commerce. So for the Bachelor of Commerce, this is more on, it will teach you the business fundamentals and how it works. So ganun yun, yung Bachelor of Commerce. For
Yeah.
the Bachelor of Arts and Business Communication naman, it is focused on in communicating internal employees, external clients, stakeholders, and the public. For the
Mhm.
Associate of Arts, this is the, you can use this program as a stepping stone dun sa bachelor's degree mo.
Okay.
Okay? But we will, yeah, this is the entry requirements for our undergraduate. So K to 12, since may K to 12 na tayo dito, K to 12 na TOR and diploma. So yung grades na hinihingi natin dito, yung tinatawag natin dito sa Pilipinas na pasang-awa daw, yung 75%. So yun lang
Oh,
hinihingi natin, 75% lang. Or mas maganda syempre, bakit doon sa pasang-awa, much better kung 80 yan pataas.
okay,
Mas
okay.
maganda. Siyempre, para naman makita naman nila na hindi ka lang, ganun lang yung score mo. Then yun nga,
Siyempre.
yung basic requirements namin, TOR, diploma, copy of your valid passport,
Mhm.
updated resume. Then, as you can see here, may nire-record kaming academic IELTS na 6.5 overall with a minimum of 6.0 in writing band. Guys, you don't need to worry kasi tayo lang dito sa Southeast Asia ang inalaw ni University Canada West na pwede mag-submit ng MOI or yung medium of instruction. Saan ba siya manggagaling? Dalawang panggagalingan niya. So kung recently or graduate mo lang, hihingin mo siya or i-request mo siya dun sa institution kung saan ka graduate.
That's
And for
right.
example naman, matagal ka na graduate, nagtatrabaho ka na rin na matagal, hihingin mo or i-request mo yung MOI dun sa current employer mo. Yun. And but, hindi ko naman ibig sabihin na nabanggit ko na pwede kami magsabi ng MOI. For example, kung meron ka ng IELTS,
Yeah.
nalamit mo na yung grades naman, pwede mo rin naman siyang isubmit as long as it is valid. Or any English test like, what do you call it? TOEFL, Cambridge, PTE, or any other
Mhm.
English test. Basta pasado yung score and valid, pwede mo rin naman isubmit yun. Pero kung ayaw yung mag-English test, pwedeng tawag dito, pwede tayo nitong mag-submit ng MOI. Then,
MOI.
meron kami ding tawag dito, meron din kaming requirements doon sa MOI na dapat ninyong i-meet. yun nga, kung interesado kayo, pwede namin i-discuss sa inyo. So, meron tayong konti pag-usapan about lang doon. Para at least yung isasubmit natin is MOI na lang.
Okay.
Alright?
That's better. Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about MBA. So, bakit siya popular here and abroad? Kasi nga, maiksi lang yung duration. Right, guys? So, for example, may kasabay kayong student, 2 years yung kinuha niya. Ang kinuha mo yung MBA ni UCW. Ikaw, tapos na, sila nag-aaral pa. Ikaw, binabawi mo na yung ROI mo, sila nag-aaral pa. Yun yung pinaka-difference nun. Alright?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as I mentioned kanina, non-thesis siya, wala siyang thesis. And this is also the logical way sa progression ng studies mo. Siyempre, graduate ka ng bachelor's, ang susunod mo talaga is master's.
Yes.
Okay, and also, for those mature student na, for example, may mga position na rin kayo dito sa Pilipinas or maganda na rin yung salary ninyo, and syempre, pag nag-MBA ka, nag-aspire ka rin talaga ng mataas na posisyon and mataas na salary. So, kung yun yung goal mo, pwede natin i-consider yung MBA natin ni UCW. Okay, so yeah, in this program, anyone can apply, no age limit.
All right.
Alright? So, yun. So, then meron din kaming electives na pagpipilian kayo. So, we got 8 electives. So, ang pinaka-popular namin doon, yung human resource, business analytics, and yung digital marketing. So, hindi ko na nakasama dito sa, sinorten ko na kasi itong presentation ko. But, yun yung 3 electives na pinaka-popular dun sa out of 8 electives na meron kami. And the good thing with the 2 electives doon, yung human resource and the and yung digital marketing, partner kami sa Canada. So for example, hindi naman yun mandatory na mag-exam ka. It is up to you kung gusto mo magpa-certified. For example, kinuha mong elective yung human resource. Okay, and magbabayad ko na pag nag-exam ka, pag naipasa mo, certified. May certification ka ng human resource ng Canada. Same thing with digital marketing, magiging kakaroon ka ng magiging digital marketing professional ka. So, ang ganda ng qualification mo. So sobrang bentahe mo sa market.
That's good.
Alright?
Okay.
Alright, so eto yung entry requirements naman namin. Same lang din siya nung undergraduate, but yung difference lang is yung grade. So, ang hinihingi nating grade dito or nire-require nating grade, bababa lang din. It's like 2.5. It's like 85% na equivalent kay dito sa Pilipinas. So guys, sobrang attainable na yan, yung 85%. So parang 2.25, parang ganun dito yan.
Okay, okay.
And yun nga, TOR, diploma, copy of your valid passport, updated resume, and the MOI. And for those married women na mag-a-apply na student, ang madadagdag lang is yung, ang tawag dito, yung marriage certificate as a proof of name change.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, dito rin sa MBA namin, may tinatawag kaming direct MBA and MBA with foundation. Okay, so yung direct MBA is for those students na graduate ng business. Hindi lang may subject na business kasi yung ibang student, akala nila may subject silang business, okay na, parang dating, pwede na sila makapag-direct MBA. So, these are, yung MBA direct natin is for those students na graduate ng MBA ng business, which is graduate ka ng finance, ng marketing, ng commerce, business ad. So yun. Then kung may grade kayo na 85% or higher, pwede kayong mag-apply for direct MBA. What about for those non-business? Kasi karamihan dito sa Pilipinas, pangkaraniwang course natin is na natatapos dito is engineering, nursing, IT, hospitality, and teacher or so on. Pwede, huwag kayong mawala ng pag-asa, pwede pa rin kayo mag-apply for our MBA program. But yun nga, madadagdagan lang kayo ng 3 months na preparatory program, which is tinatawag namin foundation. And of course, pag naka-foundation kasi ka sa Canada rin, yung mga preparatory program nila, hindi ka pwedeng mag-part-time job. So, but yun nga, pag natapos mo naman yung 3 months na yun, pwede ka nang mag-part-time job. As long as may pasa mo na yung foundation na yun. So, you don't need to worry din kasi pwede nating mapa-waive, ma-request natin na ma-waive yung foundation. As long as meron si student na minimum of 3 years na supervisory or managerial experience. So, mag-a-appeal tayo sa admission team para mapa-waive, makapag-direct MBA din tayo.
Okay.
Okay? So, yun. So, next slide, please. Okay, for the accommodation, we are partner with Forstay. So this is an off-campus housing. So dito kayo hahanap ng suitable doon sa budget ninyo. Kung wala kayong makita, reach out lang kayo kay Ana, sa akin, or sa Secure Visa para ma-network namin kayo doon sa mga student na nasa Canada na.
Yes.
Alright?
Very good.
Next. So, yeah, 95% yung employability natin kasi nga, meron department dito sa UCW na tutulong sa mga student natin. Andito yung career development team natin. So, next slide. Ultimong yung resume natin, cover letters, kasi iba tayong gumawa ng resume. Aminin natin yan. Kasi may nakita ako before na, alam mo yung parang ginawa, biniling bio dito sa 7-Eleven ng style. Guys, ibang-iba ang resume sa Canada. Tandaan niya. So, yun nga, andito yung Career Development Center natin, i-guide kayo, bibigyan kayo ng tips kung paano gumawa ng cover letters, yun nga, yung resume, sila rin yung magbibigay ng techniques kung paano ipasa yung job interviews ninyo. Ito rin yung nagkakandak ng job fair or career fair, so doon ka mamimili ng company or ng position na apply mo. So, kumbaga, hindi ka talaga mahihirapang maghanap ng trabaho kasi may mag-a-assist sa inyo.
Magandang tulong din yan. Magandang tulong yan. Bukod sa tinuturuan ka, I mean, after graduate, meron ka pang mga ibang options na hindi ka iiwanan ng school mo.
Yeah, may mga training din sila, may mga training sila na pupuntahan ka, attend ka para yun yung makakatulong doon sa career mo rin.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So next slide. So here are some of those 15 out of those 70 almost 70 plus na companies kung saan nag-work yung ating mga estudyante. So I believe familiar na kayo dyan sa some of those companies. So maganda. That's yung mga companies na meron tayo.
Galing.
Next slide, please.
Okay.
Okay, so here are campuses. So next slide. So this is the downtown Vancouver. Okay, so we got the West Pender campus and the Vancouver house. So the good thing here with Vancouver or Canada, very accessible yung transportation natin. So you don't need to worry. Kasi both campuses, walking distance lang siya sa SkyTrain at saka bus station natin. So hindi ka talaga mahihirapan. And kung mag-i-start ka kay UCW, dito ka mag-i-start na sa campus sa Vancouver. Dito ka mag-i-start ng program mo. Okay? Next slide, please. So, ito yung West Pender. Next.
Okay.
So, this is the Vancouver house.
Wow.
Yeah. Actually, na-feature siya sa Times Magazine because yung architectural ng building namin. At saka at saka yung very popular na chandelier na umiikot under do sa ilalim ng flyover.
Pang Pinterest, pang Instagram.
Kasi tirahan ng homeless dati sa ilalim dun eh.
Oh my goodness. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Diba? I mean, if you want to study, di ba, dapat maganda rin yung lugar kung saan ka nag-aaral para
ma-motivate ka. Tama. And good thing, fair yung weather dito sa Vancouver. Right?
Really?
Ayun. So, fair lang. Ayun. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So, let's talk about yung sea grant na na-mention ko kanina. Yung sea grant natin, good news, extended siya until September 2024. So, tawag dito, kailangan mo siyang i-take advantage. So, yun nga, automatic grant siya. You don't need to apply for it. Walang initial interview, wala sasubmit. Submit mo lang yung basic requirements. Pag naging eligible ka, bibigay namin sa iyo yun. Then, yun nga, for MBA, it's 7,000 Canadian dollars. Malaki na yun, guys. Kasi in other schools, kailangan meron ka pang IELTS na 7.0 para bigyan ka ng 1,500 or 2,000. Dito, automatic 7,000 yung grant natin. So, how much yan sa peso? Parang around 240,000, something, depende sa conversion.
Malaking
then, for our undergraduate, it's 13,000. So it's almost, sa peso is almost 500,000, I believe, pa yung 500 yan. Then, sa ating associated parts is 6,000. So it's almost 200,000.
Okay.
So ganun kalalaking grant na binibigay namin na automatic.
Okay, so just to recap, a grant it's going to be a reduction in your overall tuition fee.
Yes,
right?
That's right. So yung tuition fee since na-mention mo yung tuition fee namin for 2024 for MBA, kasi doon kami nagpo-focus talaga din MBA is 40,635.
Okay.
Then automatic yung grant, di ba? 7,000.
Yes.
So if you're going to deduct then just 40,000, it's almost 33 na lang, di ba?
Yes.
For the whole duration na ng studies yan.
Which is 2 years, right?
Yeah, which is 2 years. Then yun nga,
Okay.
kasi sa Canada, yung regular program, di ba, yung tuition fee niya per year, nag-range ng 15 to 20 rin. Parang
Yes,
ganon.
yes, yes.
So imagine mo, i-divide mo sa 2 yung 33, it's almost 16. So ibig sabihin, talagang yung tuition fee namin is talagang mura siya.
That's
Okay,
right.
mura siya. So kumbaga, kasing presyo lang siya ng regular program, but we're talking about master's degree.
MBA, yeah, the
Yeah,
MBA, of
right?
course.
So yun, ganun siya kumura. And yung initial deposit namin talaga, initial deposit namin para makuha yung LOA is 7,900 Canadian dollars.
Okay. To
But
secure your slot, to secure your slot.
yeah, 7,900. But may
Okay.
but na
Oh, yes.
meron kaming initial tuition fee deposit promo na
Okay.
3,000 muna yung babayaran mo para makuha mo yung LOA mo.
Oh,
Yung letter of
wow.
acceptance. So it's
That's
almost 120,000 pesos para
that's
makuha mo yung
good.
LOA mo. Okay, so yun nga, 3,000 lang yung babayaran mo para makuha mo yung LOA para makapag-apply ka ng visa mo. Alright? So
That's
yun
good.
nga, pag nag-apply ka na ng visa, for example, na-approve yung visa mo, so that's the time mo babayaran yung remaining na 4,900 para mabuo mo yung 7,900.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that 7,900 will serve as your tuition fee, i-cover niya yung first term, then the
Yes.
remaining amount will be carry over dun sa second term. So ibig sabihin, ang sunod na bayad mo ng tuition fee mo, nasa Canada ka na on your second term.
Yes.
Nag-aaral ka na, nagpa-part-time job ka. And yung 7,900 na yan, ibabawas mo pa rin dun sa naiwan nung 33,000.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
remaining, babayaran mo siya ng staggered, per term mo na siya babayaran. So hindi
Oh,
talaga masakit sa bulsa.
that's right.
Okay? So,
Oo
hindi
naman.
ka mahihirapan. Kasi yung ibang iniisip nila, ay, ang laki naman, parang 1.5M dapat meron ako or whatsoever na ganun.
Aha. Aha.
Which is, eto yung mga options na meron kayo. Kaya andito si Secure Visa at andito rin si UCW para tulungan kayo, ibigay sa inyo yung right information.
Great. Great.
Okay? So yun, I believe I will stop there. Thank you so much, guys. Hopefully, marami kayong natutunan sa program ni UCW and paano kayo makakapag-enroll kay UCW and yung benefits ng pag-aaral kay UCW din. So thank you so much,
Galing.
Ana.
Thank you. Okay, that's a lot of
Yeah.
information. That's really a lot of information to digest.
Yeah.
Kahit ako parang na-absorb ko pa siya. But thank you, William, for sharing this with us. So we will keep your socials here flashed on the screen so that people could take note of it. So if you want to get in touch with William, please reach out to the Secure Visa team and we will connect you. And then before we proceed to the next part of our presentation, people don't leave yet. I just want to say goodbye to William. Thank you for giving us your
Thank
time.
you. Thank you, Sir
Oh,
JC.
all right. Thank
Guys,
you,
if you do have
William.
some questions, andito lang si Secure Visa. So, known na sila sa industry. So, you're in good hands nga. Parang yung Metrobank lang din, di ba? You're in good hands.
Thank
And
you.
para din silang video, they'll find ways.
Oh,
Okay, so guys, thank you so much for your time.
All
And
right.
have a
Thank
safe
you.
afternoon.
Bye,
Okay, bye.
William. Okay, everyone, stay tuned. Stay here. Okay. That was great. So, alam na natin kung saan tayo pwede mag-aral. There's UCW as an option. But again, there's so many other options available if you want to migrate to Canada. Okay. So, andito na tayo. Ito na yung mga big question ng mga tao. Now we are finished with our session with learning about the school. Ano na yung kailangan nating i-prepare? Ito na yung we're talking about money. We're talking about funds. Okay. So, there are financial requirements that you need to prepare. So I hope you're still with us. Hang on. Let me see. We have 24 viewers right now. If you're still listening, at kung buhay pa po kayo, kaway-kaway dyan, please give me a thumbs up or a heart para lang makita ko na nandito pa yung aking mga viewers and mga friends. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I could see the hearts there. So again, you still have time to share this information. Please click on the share button. Ito na yung information na kailangan ng mga taong maraming tanong about how much, what do I need to do? Please share this now so that other people on your Facebook network can learn about this preparation for your study permit. Okay, so these are two major investments that you need to prepare. Again, these are investments, hindi lang siya payment. So investment, sinasabi namin kanina ni William, and as I said earlier, it's studying abroad is an investment. It's a stepping stone. So we need to be committed to this. And how do we prepare? So Secure Visa will provide you with this information. Okay. Okay. Here are the financial requirements. First of all is school tuition fee. And then second would be evidence of funds. So, it depende sa saan po kayo mag-aaral. We mentioned some schools earlier. Iba-iba ang mga tuition fees nila and depende rin po siya sa duration ng program ninyo. So, postgraduate and bachelor's degree or undergraduate programs have different tuition fees. So, and then you need to present an evidence of funds. So, um, we want to tell you that Canada will be reviewing your application. So you're showing a proof that you have the capacity to support yourself while you're studying. And even more, if you're coming to Canada with spouse or with family, you have to show your evidence of funds that you have more than enough to support your studies and of course the cost of living of bringing your family with you. So I think you've been hearing this from other agencies. You may have heard it as show money. Ang tawag nila show money. Um, Actually, hindi po namin siya tinatawag na show money. We're actually showing this as evidence of funds. So, hindi lang siya for purposes of ipakita. It's really to emphasize that we are prepared. And again, we were talking about nakakapag-work naman ako sa Canada. So, do I need to really put a lot of evidence of funds? Pwede naman ako mag-work sa Canada. So, sinasabi namin earlier, pupunta ka ng Canada as a student. So, ang focus dapat is to study. While you have the benefit of doing a part-time job, 20 hours, so hindi mo dapat doon i-devote lahat ng energy mo. And that would not be enough to sustain your tuition or your cost of living. So that's why you need to be more than prepared with enough resources and enough funds for this for your journey. Okay. Okay. Now, ito naman yung another question. I believe people would be asking this. What do I do pag kulang ang funds ko? So, wag ka mag-alala. So, you can always still apply to your student visa. So, you can have sponsors or a guarantor. So, they can help present your evidence of funds. Dadagdagan nila. Siyempre, we are sure that we have family members, parents, or brothers and sisters that understood naman as Filipinos, we support each other, we help each other. So, hindi na iiba yung, um, hindi parang weird scenario na may tumutulong sa'yo as a sponsor, especially for tuition and it's a migration journey. So, ito yung some of the notes if you have a sponsor. Hindi siya kailangan Canadian resident. They could be anybody from anywhere. You can be your parents, siblings, and relatives. Now we have to show that you have proof of relationship. So that could be either through documents like birth certificates and passports. So to prove your relation with this person. And again, number 3, your sponsor is willing to provide funds that are legit and verifiable, meaning this sponsor will have to also show his or her bank accounts. So these are part of the requirements. Of course, to determine na accessible ba itong funds na ito at is it real funds? So, all right. And then, number 5, hindi naman kailangan i-transfer ni sponsor yung buong fund sa inyo. So, kailangan lang niyang ma-prove na he has the capacity to lend this to you in support, to lend or to give this to you in support of your education. So, there are documents that are submitted for those. So, again, the sponsor, again, should be also giving the requirements and submitting same as you as a student. So, you have to think very well, who are you choosing as your sponsors? Okay? Okay. So you might be wondering, talaga bang possible na makapagpunta ng Canada on a sponsors only? Here's Fatima. She's one of our clients. So she did not have enough funds when she was applying for her student visa. So she was going to take a postgraduate certificate in business management. It was a 2-year program here in Toronto. So what she did was she used her parents and her brother as sponsors. So at that time, Fatima was only single. So her income was, if she was working, but then her income was not enough to support her study. So meron siyang sponsors such as her parents and her brother. Her brother was actually an OFW at that time. Okay, another client, this is Faye. So she's married with 2 kids and she was taking the early childhood development program also. So kulang din yung funds niya. Need niya rin ng sponsor to help to boost her application, right? So for her evidence of funds, she was able to get a sponsor. So she has children, but she applied first as a solo applicant so that her funds would fit, her evidence of funds would be enough to support a solo application. And then later on, when she arrived in Canada and is already studying, her children and her spouse are able to follow on with their application as open work permit and dependent children. Okay? So, um, kahit na may sponsors ka, hindi siya downside to your application. You could still be approved. So, understood yan nga. Sabi ko nga, sinasabi din ng mga immigration consultants natin, Filipino tayo, close tayo sa family natin. Alam natin na nagtutulungan tayo. 'Di ba? Hindi lang ang parents natin ang tumutulong sa atin. Tayo din sinusuportahan din natin ang mga siblings natin, mga pamangkin, ganun. So, it's not a foreign idea na magkaroon ng mga sponsors lalo na for student visa application. So, we were talking about sponsors. So, ano yung type sponsors and evidence of funds? I'm sorry. So, what are the types of things that you can present when you're applying? So, these as listed here. So, may mga nagtatanong, paano po kung meron akong property like kotse or bahay o lupa, kasama po ba siya sa evidence of funds? Actually, ang evidence of funds should be readily available in the bank. It's in money form. So sometimes investments like stocks, they are supporting ties, but they are not evidence of funds. Kasi di ba ang stocks, before you pull out that amount, you need to process it first. So hindi mo siya, even if you want to pay your tuition today for your Canadian college, hindi mo naman pwedeng i-pull out yung stocks na yun to pay. So take note, okay? So there are different documents you present for evidence of funds, and some of them are also supporting ties. So yun yung dito babagsak sa supporting ties, yung bahay o lupa, kotse, and other investments, minsan mga memorial plan, ganon, insurances, like yung mga Sun Life, mga AXA Life, ganon. So marami kayong pwedeng i-present. But again, we go back to evidence of funds. The figures are very important. They have to be intact and readily available to you, whether it's through your sponsor or through your own personal savings. So it helps to, we are emphasizing to the immigration officer that you have the capacity and you're very determined to go on this study journey. Ano ba ang kailangan mong i-prepare? Bukod sa yung tuition fee na binanggit natin, and then yung evidence of funds, which is your additional money when you come to Canada, meron pa tayong mga application fees, which would be this amount. So that's medical, biometrics, and other fees as listed here. Okay? Now, may binabanggit kanina si William, di ba, na ito yung X amount of tuition for a 2-year MBA. So, kailangan na ba niyang bayaran yung tuition right away? So, no, you don't need to pay the full tuition. If for the 2-year program, you may only pay one term or one semester or 1 year. So, again, after mo nabayaran yung tuition mo, pinipresent natin siya as part of your evidence of funds, right? Now, even if you've already submitted your study permit application, you're summarizing your other funds there. So dapat there's still more than enough left in your evidence of funds that more than 1 year ang program mo. So it should be up to 2 years program, especially if your letter of acceptance from your college has a 2-year program. So your funds should be enough for 2 years of tuition and cost of living for yourself and your family. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, nabanggit din kanina ni William yung mga possibilities na, okay, knock on wood, nare-refuse ang tuition, ang student visa application or student permit application. What will happen to the tuition? I already made hulog that. Nagbayad na ako. What happens if you get refused? So, yan yung sinasabi nating defer. So, if your school start date is near, you can defer to the next available intake date. So, intake date is parang start of the semester. Intakes could be in winter intake, spring intake, summer intake, or fall intake. So may mga months po na na-mention dito yung Secure Visa team. So you can always defer. Some people would have to defer the next year. Depende po sa program yon. So your application will still be intact in the school. Your slot is still there. However, you will need to move your intake date. Now, if you got refused, there's a possibility that you can get a refund from the school. School policies, depende sa school, would allow a refund if there is a visa refusal. They don't do refunds if you just decided to change your program or decided to pull out. So may mga policies po na we have to be very mindful of. And then, however, if you want to withdraw your tuition, let's say for the reason of a refusal of your study permit, hindi po ma-return yung buong amount kasi may mga parang mga incidental fees. So, mayroon na siyang reduction. Okay? So again, we were talking about, let's be realistic. No? There's a possibility na merong refusal. It happens. So even if our best intentions, we prepared, we submitted everything, however, we still get a visa refusal. So I want to show with you here what we have a client that her name is Vivian and she had submitted her application in March 2022. Nag DIY siya, meaning she submitted it on her own without any professional guidance. So she submitted her requirements by herself, uploaded it to the immigration website. However, she got a decline, meaning na refuse yung application niya. So usually when you get a decline, you get this letter and it nililist doon yung we are refusing you for the reasons of XXX. Now, when she got to reach out to Secure Visa, a few months later, Secure Visa helped to process her application, and then through the help of our immigration consultants, her visa was eventually approved. So nakarating na rin siya sa Canada. So ibig sabihin, we're just showing here na a refusal is not the end of the process, you know. Even if it happens, what we want to say is we will not stop until you get your approved student visa and your permit, diba? Okay. Okay, what if for whatever reason you studied and you graduated, you got your PGWP, you worked, but I'm not able to get my PR, I'm not able to get my permanent residence. My PGWP is already nearing the third year. It's done. So what's my benefit to that? So again, you graduated from a program in Canada. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. Nagkaroon ka na ng additional qualifications. Binabanggit nga kanina ng UCW, di ba? MBA ka na. You'll be more employable. You'll be a reputable person in the business industry, di ba? It's more attractive on your CV for future employers. So hindi naman sayang yung investment mo. You studied and then you got your diploma and your credentials, right? Plus, within those years that you were working, you gain Canadian work experience. This builds up your skills, builds up your ability to interact with others. And of course, networking din, nakaka-build ka rin ng network through either Facebook or LinkedIn or your other colleagues. And again, if you had worked full-time or part-time, you would have gained back some return of investment also. So all is not lost. We understand that tuition is really a huge amount na will be taken out from your savings, right? But however, because you're working and you're gaining the benefits, bumabalik din sa inyo yung investment na yun. Okay? And as I said earlier, you'll improve your skills and you'll be more competitive in the job market. So quick recap. We're almost nearing the end, but please bear with me, okay? So we just want to explain that we had the 4 reasons why it's a great thing to study in Canada, why you want to take the pathway. Number 1, you have the option of getting the PGWP. Upon completion of your program, you have a PGWP that allows you to work for an extended period after your studies. And then number 2, even if you're currently studying as a student, active international student, during school breaks or during days that you don't have classes, you can work part-time for up to 20 hours a week. Number 3, nabanggit ko na rin kanina, very attractive for a lot of people is you can bring your family, your partner, your dependent children, and they also get benefits of living in Canada, and your spouse gets the benefits of working in Canada. And of course, in terms of timeline, getting the student permit to Canada is the fastest way to come to Canada. You can have it done in 6 months or less, assuming you are complete with your requirements and your preparation. So we also talked about, are you qualified based on the schools that school programs that we presented, based on your age, your language requirements? Are you qualified to take an MBA or any other program in a school such as UCW? We talked about that today. And of course, what are the other career options that you have, given that these are the programs na meron for studying in Canada? Okay, 2 major investments, recap natin. It's your tuition and your evidence of funds. So we have to show that we are prepared and we have more than enough to cover our tuition and our cost of living for the duration of our study program in Canada. Okay, ito na naman ulit. Sabi ko sa inyo, babalikan ko yung 3-step process na yon. Diba? Number 1, study in Canada. Understood yun? Through a DLI. Then number 2, complete your program, of course. Dapat pumasa, graduate. Then, as you complete your program, you're eligible to get the PGWP, your work permit, which could last for from 1 year to 3 years after you graduate. During this time, you are working in Canada for 1 year to 3 years after you finish your program. So that will gain you work experience, which helps to add to your CRS score. This makes you more qualified to go to step three, which is applying for your PR or permanent residency in Canada. All right. So, option one. May nabanggit ako kanina yung word na DIY. Someone did a DIY, however, didn't pan out well for her. So, you have the option of doing this yourself. You've got the information. We provided you with some tips. Now, you have the option of doing that. Then number two, of course, to get an advantage, why don't you reach out to the experts? Sinabi namin nga kanina, the founders of Secure Visa and the Secure Visa team, napagdaanan na rin nila yung mga challenges. They've already understood what are the difficulties. So why don't we leave it to the experts, especially when it comes to something very important, such as a decision to study in Canada? So, ano gusto nyo? Option one or option two? Sa ating 27, 26 followers who are still here, what do you think? Option one, type one. Option two, type two. Let us know. Option one, do you want to do it on your own? Or option two, you want to get help from the experts who can help you with your application. Type not one or two. If you decide that studying in Canada is the best path for me, do I want to do it myself, or would it be better if I have someone to guide me? Of course, diba? Let's go with option two. That's why we're here, right? We're spending this time together to learn and of course to understand the right way to do it. So four things you need to succeed. Unang-una, it's a study program. So that's why we're introducing you to different types of schools, to different types of courses. So it depends on your work experience and your profile. Sa career profile mo, ano bang naaangkop na program sa iyo? We don't just give you a program just for the sake na ma-enroll ka. So the reason that Secure Visa is here, we match you correctly to the school and the program that best fits you para naman mag-succeed ka, more chances of success. Number two, now because we were talking about applying, hindi lang po tayo nagsasabit ng mga bank statements or documents or titulo ng lupa. Meron tayong way to convince the officer. Dapat tayo may statement of purpose. Ito yung tinatawag nating SOP. It's a letter that is showing us, showing the visa officer why we're so intent on studying on Canada. This shows our commitment na bakit ko ba gusto yung program na to? Bakit ko gustong mag-upskill, improve ang sarili ko? Number three, that's why Secure Visa is here. There's a team of experts that are around to really guide you to have this done in a systematic and the correct way, diba? And number four, to succeed, meron na kaming stress-free process to help you with that. And then, of course, a lot of people, they understand they're working full-time back home sa Pilipinas. May time pa ba akong mag-apply or intindihin yung mga requirements and everything? So, if you're afraid to make mistakes, even if this is your first time applying, if you have a lot of questions and you need to understand that the process, there's a stress-free way of doing it. And that's why we have the team of experts in Secure Visa who will guide you and support you until you get to Canada. Okay. Now, this is very important. I hope you keep note of this. We would like you to book your free clarity call with our team, our education specialist team. You could see the link here. I'm keeping this slide here for a few more seconds. It's securevisa.com/book. Why do you need to have a clarity call? Although marami na tayong didiscuss dito sa discussion na to, discussion. Marami na tayong pinagkwentuhan dito. It's still best to have a one-on-one session with one of our education specialists. Lalo na pag may mga tanong kayo na hindi nyo matanong dito sa ating chat, nahihiya kayo or hindi mo naisip yung tanong until later on. You have the opportunity to book a call and it's for free. They will answer your questions and they will even get to know you more so that they could understand, okay, is this pathway working for you and your family, di ba? So, it's best that meron ka talagang kausap. Hindi ka lang nanonood ng vlog, hindi ka lang nagbabasa sa Twitter or sa Facebook, di ba? Meron ka talagang kausap where someone's reliable as an education specialist from Secure Visa. Okay? I'm keeping the link here. It's securevisa.com/book. And nandito po siya sa comment section. Nilalagay po ng team para pwede nyo rin po i-click. Okay, so what do you expect from the clarity call? We're almost there, okay? So again, our experts will have to evaluate you and check your credentials if you're qualified for a program in Canada. Then again, if you have any questions, you can ask it there, one-on-one. They will devote the time. Ikaw lang po ang kausap nila. You or your spouse, sabay po kayo, pwede kayo makipag-usap sa aming education specialist. And if it's a good fit, we can discuss with you how we can help our help you take it a step further with our end-to-end service. And this end-to-end service, we call it the secure student solution, right? um as I said, it's about guiding you from step one until you reach Canada. Okay. School needs, unang-una, identify the correct school and program. I said that earlier. Hindi lang para ma-enroll kayo wherever. It has to be the right school for you. Next, when it's time to apply, we will guide you with the requirements, documents, and the steps that you need to take. Submit it. We will check it for you. We will help to collate this information. Kasama na po dun yung pag-prepare ng statement of purpose or your letters of application. And then also at the time na na-approve ka na, hooray, we have to prepare you before you fly to Canada. Doesn't stop there. Even when you're in Canada, we continue our connection, right? And then we'll provide guidance with job hunting, in helping you with building up your resume, and finally really settling well in the community sa Canada. So these are just one of the many services offered by our Secure Student Solution at Secure Visa. So we are proud to say that we have provided this service to so many clients. These are just some of them. I'm going to show you some of the pictures of these clients who have trusted in the process. Like at first it was just a dream. Ngayon nakarating na sila. They're in Canada. So it works. Our process works. So from even it's a single applicant, family application, spouse application, you get that um, work permit and approval, ating inaasam-asam na approval with the help of Secure Visa. Okay. So, I mean, it's not enough for me to talk about it. If you would look at our socials, client feedback is there. I'm just going to show you really quickly. These are real people na nag-say ng thank you sa aming team dahil na-assist sila from the start of choosing their program, choosing their place where they want to settle, the right province for them. Our team has helped them. So, dapat nga kami ang mag-thank you sa kanila because they trusted Secure Visa. We're very, very happy that we have touched their lives, and we still continue to be in touch with them even as they already reached their dream destination. So, again, I am going to keep the slide here. Book your free clarity call with the education specialist team. The link is over here, or you can have it on the chat here in our comment section. So we are at the end of our presentation. Thank you so much for staying with us. And of course, if you are still with us, keep following Secure Visa and have some more updates for future educational information sessions like today. So there you have it, guys. Thank you. I hope you got the value out of this live session. And our next video. Thank you very much, team. Thank you, everybody, and have a good day. Bye.